So as a guy that talks about music on YouTube, I get a lot of messages asking for recommendations of what people should listen to. But instead of asking for me to give you a specific album to check out, I think the more beneficial thing to ask is how can I find new music in general? You know that saying that goes, give a man to fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime? Today I'll try doing that with music. While I have another entire video discussing different ways to find new music, in this video I'm gonna talk about a way that is one of my absolute favorites and I haven't talked about it yet anywhere. It's more interactive than listening to a pre-made Spotify playlist, and there's more personalization than watching Fantano's end of the year list or going through any publication's top whatever albums. So this German guy right here, Merrick Gibney, is the founder of a project called GNOD, the Global Network of Discovery. His main goal is to work with artificial intelligence in a way that is very easy and accessible for people to use, in the hopes that those users can find new stuff that they'll like. GNOD has these different discovery portals for movies, literature, arts, products, and music, and for most of them there are two different ways to get your recommendation, either an entire map or one straightforward suggestion. With the single suggestion process, it works like this. I click the Discover tab for movies. It gives an explanation that it's a self-adapting system. Over time, users have told the AI what they like and dislike. It's basically a search engine for what you don't know but might enjoy, and it started completely empty, but now there are tens of thousands of movies, and the AI has a good idea of what to recommend for you. I hit continue and input a few of my favorite movies. I went for No Country for Old Men, Scream, and Little Shop of Horrors. I press continue and it recommends me Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. I've never heard of that, but I just looked it up and it seems interesting, so I'm gonna add it to my watch list. Same thing for the art portal. I like Andy Warhol, Monet, and Matisse. I click continue and it recommends me Roy Lichtenstein. I didn't know that name off the top of my head, but I googled him, saw that he was this comic strip pop art guy. I feel like I've seen his stuff before, but now I'm really gonna check him out. This kind of portal on GNOD is cool, and I've literally only gotten good recommendations from it, but I like the other kind of portal a lot more. So let's go to the reason why I'm making this video and scroll to Project 2 on the GNOD music section and click the music map. I'm gonna type the name of a musician that I like and it'll show me their music map. Kinda goes without saying who I'm gonna pick, and take a look at what happens. So in the corner it says this: people who like Kanye West might also like these artists. The closer two names are, the greater the probability people will like both artists. Taking a look around, this works out pretty well. Who is practically on top of Kanye? Kendrick Lamar. Kanye and Kendrick are both in my top 5 favorite musicians easily. Frank's nearby, obviously love him. The Weeknd, Jay-Z, Brockhampton. I like some Gambino, some Rocky, and you can already see what GNOD is confident I'll enjoy and what stuff is more of an educated guess. The thing here that I do want to clarify is that I don't think Kanye's map is really telling me anything too interesting. Kanye West is massive. He's touched on a ton of different sounds throughout his career, and whether you're a music nerd or somebody that only listens to the radio, both of those groups love Kanye's music. And being that GNOD is saying people who like Kanye might also like these musicians, it's like, yeah, duh. Liking Kanye isn't exactly a niche thing. So personally, what I recommend for this website is going deeper and more specific into your music tastes. For example, people that like Kanye very well might like J. Cole, but I'm not exactly a fan. Who's somebody on here that would tell me more about what I like though? How about Denzel Curry? Now that we click him, we go to his map, and this is much more interesting. The common interests of people that like Kanye and people that like Denzel are way different and more specific. Now we get the likes of Peggy, Injury Reserve, Suicide Boys, and Death Grips, who I all enjoy. And with a more niche artist, it's easier to see the little bubbles that form, and you can get recommendations that you might not be familiar with. For example, this grouping I know, this grouping I know, but this grouping I'm pretty much completely unaware of. I know of Lil Ugly Mane and Space Ghost Pert, but haven't listened to them extensively. From what I can remember, it's pretty dark, ominous underground rap. So, with this whole process, and truly I do this stuff all the time to find new music to check out, I go listen to all the best stuff from Lil Ugly Mane and Space Ghost Perp. If I like it, then I know I'll like these musicians too. If I like them, then there's a good chance that I'll like all the rest of these people as well. If I listen to them and I don't like them, okay, we move on to another section, which is sure to be different from what I just checked out because Gnod put them so far away from one another. If I listen to Lil Ugly Mane and I absolutely love him, we click his name, new music map, and boom, we venture further into this rabbit hole of underground hip-hop, and I probably only know about 10 names on this entire map. You see what I mean, and how you can use this so effectively? After showing you Kanye's map, then Denzel's, then Lil Ugly Mane, and how we were going less and less popular with each click, you might be wondering how small we can go. Does Gnod work for super up-and-coming indie musicians? I would say it works better with indie musicians than anything else. Take for example, good friend of the channel, Chase Segley. Chase has around 40,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, which isn't nothing, but when we compare it to much more established names, there's a difference there. But Chase's music map still has plenty going on. And obviously we know these big names, but hey, having these here are still very helpful for the process of, if you like Chase, you might like these, which I agree with. But for all the rest of these musicians, I've never heard of a single one of them. And doesn't that kind of make sense? People that are deep into artist exploration and finding musicians that are next up, they're not gonna stop at one cool band that they like and then just listen to whatever's on the radio. No, people that listen to smaller independent musicians have a full library of stuff on the rise. So of course, with these people's help, Gnod works for these indie musicians too. If you like Chase Segley, maybe you'll like Jack Larson.
Mama told me always do what she says, and if you're losing your head,
or maybe you'll like Binky.
I'm stressed. I'm stressed.
Or any of these other names that I didn't know about until I looked up Chase on Gnod. Trust me, if you like an independent musician, you will be able to find 20 more to fall in love with if you search them up on here. I've done a few examples of how to use this, and lastly, Gnod can be extremely helpful for getting into new genres too. A few months ago, I did this journey into heavy metal, where before, I could only name a few bands in the entire genre, I only knew a few songs, but then after months of going through lists online, listening to what I was told were the best of the best, going through evolutions of different subgenres and so on, I finally found what my taste in heavy metal was. Sort of. Now, I'm not saying that Gnod would compile everything perfectly for me and do all the work, but it shows me so many options and it's pretty accurate when it comes to the aspect of if something is very close to the band you like, you'll probably like it. When I showed you the Kanye map and I was like, it's not very interesting to me, duh, I know hip-hop. That's what I'm comfortable with. I know every single musician on this map very well. But after months of trying to get into heavy metal and only knowing maybe 15 to 20 bands in total and only knowing them a little bit, I have a few bands that I know I really like. One of them is the theatrical Swedish doom metal band Ghost. Let's go into music map, search Ghost, and I only know like 3 bands on here. Now I have a visual representation of like 30 recommendations with a specific feature showing me who I'll definitely enjoy versus who I might enjoy. I can't stress enough how useful this tool is for trying to get into a new genre. If you have one band that you know you like, that's all it takes. Then you have this beautiful map showing you what the world has in store for you. So that's it. This is not a sponsored video. Nobody asked me to do this. I just think this website is really interesting and unbelievably helpful. If you ever need music recommendations, look no further. Feel free to search for somebody and explore what's in their entire map, or if you only want to try the musicians that are nearly on top of the ones that you searched for, sure, you can actually go down a rabbit hole that way too. Let me know what you think of this website, tweet at me with any success stories you might have within the coming days and weeks, and thanks for watching. Hey, thank you for watching that video. Be sure to check out Music Map and Gnod. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can buy my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.